What up, guys? Your boy Just King ZA. Welcome back to the Just King ZA podcast. And yeah, man, today we're gonna talk about Prince Mashele and what he said about Cyril Ramaphosa. He said that Cyril Ramaphosa is done. Cyril Ramaphosa is done. So, in any way, and Cyril Ramaphosa knows the fact that he's done. And yeah, man. Before we get into it, don't forget, please subscribe to the channel so that we can grow the channel, we can have a platform. We can have a channel that we know that when you do content, we invest in content. When we try and pull guests, we know that at least we have a base of like a good 1,000 subscribers, 2,000 subscribers, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 subscribers, something. You know that we know that when a guest comes on this platform, you know it's a platform. You know, it's not me begging to have someone on the platform that they can actually see that this is a platform that has people and an audience. So please subscribe to the channel. So yeah, man, Prince Mashele has been doing some very interesting interviews on the DJ's Woo Hustlers Corner podcast. He's done a lot of beautiful interviews, and those interviews have struck a lot of. There's a lot of things to take from those interviews. You know, it depends on how well this video does. I might just go and pull from that interview a couple of things that he said and speak about them myself. You know what I'm saying? I might just do that because it's a lot that one can take from a professional political analyst point of view, and the different things that he has said. We can take from that, and we can have a very beautiful discussion and our own analysis of his analysis. You know what I'm saying? So Prince Mashele did a good job, and shout out to DSW also for being a great host and evergreen tree. You know what I'm saying? Someone who's just no maganja. He's hustling. No maganja. He's putting out content. He doesn't stop. He's a machine. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to DSW for being even my master. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't know that, but he's my a master to me. He's a sensei to me, and the reason why, one of the reasons, the main reasons, probably the main reason why I also even started doing videos, because of his videos, when he was motivating us to start doing videos on YouTube and speaking our minds. You know what I'm saying? And speaking to the future generations here on YouTube. So shout out Hotman. Oi. Yeah, man. Prince Mashele said it simple and clear. Cyril Ramaphosa is done. Cyril Ramaphosa is done, and he knows that he's done. And the moves that he's making are moves of someone who knows that they are done. You know what I'm saying? How is Cyril Ramaphosa done? Cyril Ramaphosa is done because he has failed. His whole his first term is finished, and there's nothing to show for it. Everything is down. You know what I'm saying? Every prices are up. We experienced the worst load shedding under him. You know, we experienced the worst load shedding under him, and we experienced high fuel prices. We experienced very bad management of everything, you know, government wise. We saw dilapidation of companies like Eskom. We saw no development. You know, there was no building of infrastructure. There was no growth in the country. We saw foreigners having a blast. You know what I'm saying? In our country, we saw foreigners doing as they please. You know, we saw the man also being involved in some corruption. You know, with the whole para situation where, money was found under his couch. You know, and he went on to defend himself, and but the story still does not make sense. You know, We saw a guy who blatantly came in front of a screen and lied. Guy said he was gonna build 1 million houses. I've never seen a president do that. That is the worst case of like lying. And just to think of it, that's not the only case. There's the case of 500 billion for COVID. 500 billion, 200 billion. I'm sure he mentioned a trillion there. And then a few weeks later, he came back on screen, live on camera, live on TV. You know, he came back and said that that money is missing, and that we're gonna do everything to find what happened to that money. You understand what I'm talking about? Those are the type of things we saw under Cyril Ramaphosa. A blatant liar, a blatant person who just blatantly lies, looking straight into your eyes. A person who will lie in front of you and then use his charm to try and make you forget. You call Cyril Ramaphosa the charming liar. You know, he knows how to charm people with his English and his suits. You know, and all those things. We see him on TikTok, you know. The president who's just, you know, that umuntu oluma police, like someone who bites you and tries to heal that wound that he beat you on. Someone who's killing you softly. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's Cyril Ramaphosa. That's someone who's acts like your friend, but is not your friend. You know what I'm saying? So, and uses his charm to try and get people to trust him. So, it's a very powerful tool. It's a very powerful skill that he's doing. You know, it's a skill of negotiation. Just like he's a great negotiator or someone who has the negotiation skill. You know, so that skill has worked for him. He's still the president. And of course, in some way, he does portray a sort of decent image of South Africa in terms of his demeanor and how he carries himself. That's where I'll give him a plus at. Being able to seem like someone who's educated, someone who you can speak to, someone who you can have a conversation with, someone who will welcome you with open arms, who will charm you and do all this type of thing. I'll give him that. And that's probably one of the reasons he's still president. Because the worst thing you can be as a president is someone who's like Julius Malema, where you are not palatable, where you are not a good, you are not good with people, where you don't have good interpersonal skills, where you can't disarm people in a good way, where you can't make people forget about their problems, where you make them think about their problems. That's where you as a leader, sometimes even when you're good at what you're doing or whatever, but the approach that you do it in can really set off people and really cause commotion. So that's where Julius Malema has a problem, and it's a skill that he needs to learn. He needs to be like Mandela, you know. Oh, how are you? Hey, you are looking good, eh? It's been a long time. You know, greeting the queen. Do you understand? Oh, you're looking tall and you're looking sharp, eh? You know what I'm saying? You need to have that. You need to have that disarming factor, make people laugh and make people have a good time when they're around you. Not someone who'll be like, hey, this one with a nose of a look like a shark. Hey, this one that looks like a shark. This one looks like a pig. Hey, and then tomorrow you are with that person, and now it's like it's not sticker taking. It's not clean. You know, so I'll give Cyril Ramaphosa that part. That is the part. But we need both. We need execution with that. Then we can have a good time. But now, the country is clearly suffering. People are not working. Youth are not working, which is a big problem. You're going to need this youth in the future, because all those old people, one way or another, they are going to have to retire. And what have you done to the youth? You know what I'm saying? So, Cyril Ramaphosa needs to make a proper move, but I believe that he knows he's done. That's what Prince Mashele is saying, that he knows that there's nothing he can do. There's nothing he will do. So all he's doing, you're going to find someone who's just making the right moves to ensure that when he ends his presidency, he does not get arrested. He does not get into trouble. He can safely go back into his businesses and shut his mouth. That's what you are going to see Cyril Ramaphosa working hard at, rather than working hard at the country. He's going to do whatever small thing he can do. But it takes 5 years to build. You know, I'm talking about proper infrastructure. It takes 5 years to build. Where did I see this? I saw this at Dubai, when I watched Dubai's videos about their constructions and how they construct these beautiful buildings. It takes at least 5 years to, you know what I'm saying? So it will take 5 years maybe with a big team constructing multiple different things at different places. You know what I'm saying? And then to ensure this construction, you know. So prior to that 5 years, you're gonna need to plan it out, to have the architecture, to have this and this and that, and have everything in order, to know that, okay, as a country, we're going into the building phase. We're building this and this and that. We're building a new, you know what I'm saying, structure for this and that, this and that, you know. But which structure have you seen Cyril Ramaphosa busy with? There's no structure, there's no nothing. At least with Zuma, there was Kucha, port there in Port Elizabeth, if I'm not mistaken, East London. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Is it East London, or is it whatever it is, Eastern Cape? You know what I'm saying? The Kucha, you know, there was the joining of bricks. You know what I'm saying? So we need a lot needs to be done. Cyril Ramaphosa knows that he's done, knows that he doesn't have anything more to do. If he's gonna do anything, he's gonna need to have the highest level of production skills, the highest level of putting things together, for getting the most talented people to work on those things, so that he can have something to show by the end of his presidency. But the way he's going, to me, is just going overseas, meeting with people, you know, that's about it. But you don't see any change in the companies, in the parastatals. You don't see any forward movement towards ESCOM. You don't see any forward movement towards any company. Every company is just still the same way when they were struggling during Zuma's time, and it's worse now. You know, he came in acting like he's dealing with corruption. Okay, I'll give him that here and there, those corruption things, but it can't be 5 years you're doing corruption, you're dealing with corruption for 5 years. No, you can't. And it's been more than 5 years. Let's talk. So 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. It's been like 8 years. 8 years. And the only thing you can show us is, you know what I'm saying? You can't, it's not like you don't know who's doing what. You know? We are grateful for those people who have been poached not posed, but exposed. You know, Abu Ngakula, all these people. I'm glad to see such big cases actually happen. Um, but it needs to be fast. We're glad to see some of these things, but the progression of the country must take place. The progression of the people of the country must take place. If you fail to progress the people, the majority in the country, the black people of South Africa, if students are going to school and not getting work, that is going to be a big pain in the ass. It's going to be a very big pain for the president, and it has already been a big pain, because I can guarantee you that this thing is the reason why the ANC fell below 40%. The main reason why the ANC fell below 40% in these elections, 2024 election, below 50%. Yeah, I think they hit 40, right? So below 50 is because people are not working. The youth decided to vote, and the youth could not vote for the ANC. The youth could not vote for the ANC. The parents of the kids that are not working could not vote for the ANC. You know what I'm saying? So they had to do something else. That was the main reason. Anyone can tell you that it's because of no, the main reason is because people are not working, and they made that decision, and they're going to continue. And because these are talented kids, these are kids that are educated, so it's not people that you can just convince. They were just not voting before. They were not voting at all. They were just demotivated. But this time, TikTokers and all these people, they motivated. We motivated the youth. We motivated our fellow youth using digital platforms to stand up and vote. We did that. I did that via my endeavors in TikTok, joining groups. I was vocal. I was doing videos. I was doing all type of things. Shout out to people like Samantha Jansen, right? Samantha Jansen. Shout out to the guy who recently joined MK, the colored guy. Shout out to all those people, those young, upcoming analysts, of politics. So people listened. The power of TikTok was powerful, and the youth finally decided to step up, and the government was relying on the fact that the youth don't vote, but the youth got up and voted, and I once heard this lady crying after the elections, a lady part of the ANC, I don't know what's her name. She was crying like she couldn't believe that this happened. She had always thought that they would have a grasp on the horns of the bull. She couldn't believe it, that the money was going, that now they're going to have to run this thing with the DA. They're going to have to run this thing. Things are not as simple as they used to be, So that's the power of the youth voting. And I can tell you the youth is awakening. You can see the youth on online. South Africa is dominant. Before we were dominant but quiet. But the youth of South Africa now understands what's happening, and now they're taking matters into their own hands, and now they are the loudest people on social media. Before it used to be Nigerians that were loud, and all. Now we are louder than Nigerians. Go to anything on TikTok, you'll find South Africans there, and they're speaking in their own language. Like when they comment on this thing, Nikona, you know what I'm saying? Then they just respond in this. They fry that person in this. You know what I'm saying? So South Africa has woken up, and the youth will be the end of Cyril Ramaphosa and his ANC. So I don't think these people have any. They don't even have any capacity and any capability or to help the youth of South Africa. They had told themselves that the fuck the youth of South Africa. That's what they told themselves. You know how elders be like. Elders, the problem with many elders, man. I know I have a good audience of elders, older people here. But the problem with many elders, you hate the youth. I don't know why. You hate the youth. You hate the youth. You belittle them. I don't know what you're planning, because the youth is the future. You all can be young forever. Not possible. You're going to need the strength of the youth. You know what I'm saying? The youth liberated South Africa in 1976. Some of you guys are part of those people, but you forget that the youth is important. You forget that you're going to rely on the youth. You know what I'm saying? So those of you who are not close-minded, I beg you to change your mind, because you are going to have to, the youth is going to have to take over at some point. If you guys, it's either you're with us or you're not with us, because after that, then you're going to be our enemies. You know, you're going to be those people who don't want to move on with the times. So the close-minded elders, close-minded elder politicians, close-minded people who think that they own this world, their generation is the best, you're going to have a very good humbling. I'm sure you got a humbling this time. You're going to get more humbling, and you're going to realize that there's a cycle to this life thing. No matter how weak you think a generation is, it's not your job to do that. It's your job to raise the kids, but after that, it's not your job to judge what they decide to do. You know, yes, of course, those people who are doing Yahoo and all that, they must not be judged. Some of them must not be judged, because, as we're finding out, a lot of these people are being put into these things. Some people are being, spiked. Some people, they're smoking something, then their thing is spiked. You look at it in the States, those things are spiked. You find that it's mixed with fentanyl. Then you find that those guys dying young, smoking. They're smoking a drug called fentanyl, but that fentanyl, they never knew that it's mixed with those things. You know what I'm saying? They're putting fentanyl into things that some of these kids don't even know that they were going to smoke that fentanyl. And they smoke it and they die. And now you find our black people judging those people and saying, what. But if you go deep down, you realize that there's an attack on the black youth. Those kids never meant to smoke that thing. But of course, there are those who are just on that level, who do deserve to be criticized, but it's not everyone. You know what I'm saying? So instead of judging a generation, understand what's happening. Then you'll understand that there's a biological warfare, there's a chemical warfare that's happening, and your kids are being attacked. And it's up to you to fight, so that your kid can be what you expected your kid to be. You know what I'm saying? So let's be wise. Cyril Ramaphosa understands that it's over. He's not looking out for us, not looking out for anybody. He's just so, and in us knowing that he's done, we should know when to attack. By attacking, I mean that when we see that he's leaving, the plane is without a pilot, it's about to crash, we need to be prepping ourselves. We need to become pilots ourselves. But I'm not talking about a real official pilot that you have to go to school. No, I'm just saying, let's know what to invest in to ensure our survival and to ensure our success. Let's be independent. Let's do our own thing. Let's become skilled in our own way and do things for ourselves. And make sure that by the time this pilot is about to evacuate, because he's going to evacuate, he's going to jump off, he's going to get a parachute and jump off and save himself and go back to his businesses. We need to know what to do with this plane. And we need to be able to see him when he's doing his thing. We need to be able to know how to deal with this person who's looking out for himself. Anyways, your boy Just King ZA signing out.